everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer, Spiritual Messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment, here to do my monthly Empowered Moments video for the month of September 2023. So for this month's monthly video, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Magic of the Unicorns deck by Diana Cooper. So can you believe that we're already in the month of September? It's hard to believe. And this month, there's a lot going on. Well, not so much, but there is at the same time, as there always is. But we've got some planets turning back to direct motion. We've got one planet turning to retrograde motion. And we got a vibration this month numerologically of the Tower card. So before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and close our eyes and do an empowered moment. So close your eyes if they're not already. Relax your body, clear your mind of all thoughts. Put your feet flat on the floor with your legs uncrossed if that's possible. And focus on your breathing and focus on your breath. Breathing in through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. Consciously moving through from head to toe, relaxing all of the muscles and tendons. And visualize this beautiful etheric golden white light around you. Feeling that unconditionally loving, compassionate, guiding golden white light of God's source energy, universe, great spirit, all that is. Take a very deep breath and breathe in. Imagine you're breathing in that protection, that healing. As you exhale, you're letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. And imagining now a grounding cord coming out of your root chakra and moving down through all the layers of Earth Mother Gaia, connecting to her crystalline heart chakra in the middle of the earth, the center, the core of the earth. And as your grounding cord is connected to Earth Mother Gaia's nurturing, loving heart chakra of energy, you're going to breathe in and up through that grounding cord, her beautiful healing elixir of nurturing light. As you exhale, all of that wonderful, nurturing, loving energy from Earth Mother Gaia is being dispersed throughout all of your chakras and energy bodies. Merging with that etheric golden white light. So as above and so below, you are connected to both Divine Creator and Earth Mother. And this month, as we start September, we're coming off the heels of a full moon in Pisces that we had on August 30th. So we're now in that waning cycle of the moon from that full moon in Pisces. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And so it's a time of completion, releasing, letting go, endings, winding up a cycle of energy that we've been through for the last 12 months of moon cycles. Pisces is connected to past lives. It's connected to our spiritual gifts. It's connected to karma from other realms. It's connected to our connections with our angels and guides in the higher dimensions. And again, this full moon, even though it happened on August 30th, we're still in the midst of that energy where we're going through a big purge and a big cleanse. We felt it the days leading up to the full moon, and now as we enter into this new month of September with a brand new energy that vibrates to the Tower card in the tarot. We know that big changes are coming. Big changes within ourselves. Big changes to how we view ourselves and the world. Changes in our perceptions and our belief systems. And this month, the first moon cycle will be a new moon in Virgo, which will occur about mid-month. And just as Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac about completion, releasing, endings, purging, Virgo is a sign of the zodiac that is about integration or reintegration, or putting the pieces of the puzzle into place. So we can think of this from a healing perspective, that the Pisces full moon was allowing a very delicate releasing or purging, clearing, and that Virgo takes these pieces of our soul and the pieces of our lives and the pieces of all that we've experienced through several incarnations and reintegrates those pieces to make ourselves back into a whole being. And not that we were never whole, because we're always a whole being, but that with the challenges and the difficulties and any karma that we have been moving through from other lifetime experiences, or even this lifetime of experiences, that we can now take all those aspects, those pieces, if you will, like pieces of a puzzle, and put them back together, creating a new picture, creating more alignment and flow, creating more of an understanding. Because as we might put a puzzle together and have several puzzle pieces missing, we can't clearly see what the picture is, what the big picture is, what the end result is. Now with this Virgo new moon coming up mid-month and putting those puzzle pieces, all of those puzzle pieces back into place, we can clearly see and understand the activities, circumstances, and situations of the past that led us to this point. So tune in with an open mind and an open heart. Ask for clarity so that you can see the bigger picture. Let's take a deep breath, integrating that energy, that idea deep into our awareness. And as you exhale, and in your own time, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. And let's get ready to look at our stones of choice. Okay. So our first stone of choice is stromatolite. Okay, stromatolite. So the stromatolite helps us to connect to ancient earth energies and all of the wisdom of those ancient earth energies, right? This is about connecting deep with the wisdom of Earth Mother Gaia, the healing of Earth Mother Gaia. This helps to harmonize and activate the root chakra. The root chakra is about our sense of stability and security, safety. And this helps us to explore our ancestral lines. All right, and then stone number 2, this is chrysoprase. Chrysoprase. This helps to activate both the heart chakra and the sacral chakra, interestingly enough. I can see the heart chakra because it's a green stone, right? And the color green relates to that heart chakra. Trying to see if I guess it does have a little bit of orange in here now that I look closely. The orange relating to the sacral chakra, our creative self-expression and passion. This is going to also activate the yin and yang energies. The yin of surrender, divine feminine energies, faith, trust, healing, wisdom. And the yang energies, which is more masculine, of action, movement, decision-making, leadership. So it's activating both of these energies simultaneously. This also helps to promote hope and truth and trust and security and higher consciousness. And then our last stone of choice is sardonyx. Isn't that beautiful? The sardonyx, and it does come in different colors. This one happens to be kind of a brown, tan, and orange sardonyx. This one helps to increase our willpower. It helps to increase our creativity and creative self-expression. And it encourages us to strive for a meaningful existence. This helps to also activate the root chakra. And so this is activating protection and stamina and strength, which is all root chakra energy. All right, so again, your stones of choice are the stromatolite, the chrysoprase, and the sardonyx. All right, let's put that aside and let's go ahead and talk about the numerological vibration of the month of September. So what we do when we figure this out is we take the universal year number for the year in question, which we're in 2023. So 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 is a 7. We are and have been in all year and will remain in till the end of December, a 7 universal year vibration. Now, a 7 universal year vibration is more yin energy. It's not outer expressive energy. It's internal healing, self-reflective, meditative sort of energy. So that's what we've been in for the year. What we do is we take the 7 universal year, we add it to the month of September, which is the month in question here, and September is the 9th month. So we have 9 plus 7, that's a 16. We're going to talk about the 16 in a minute, but to look at the reduced digit, we want to take the 1 plus the 6, which equals a 7. So we're in a 7 month in a 7 year. Now again, this is very internal, very self-reflective. It's not action-oriented at all. And we are in a Mercury retrograde for part of this month, so that makes sense. Usually with Mercury retrograde, we don't want to initiate anything new, right? We don't want to sign contracts or make huge purchases, which is typical of any Mercury retrograde. But this, again, reflects that idea of the number 7. Now, the number 7, it is an emotional number, it's a mental number, and it's a spiritual number. The only thing it's not really is that physical number, which relates to that action and energy and vitality. It's emotional, so we're dealing with emotions, emotional healing, and it's kind of like a quiet emotional energy. Okay, it's not really outwardly dramatic, and it doesn't mean we can't be dramatic this month, but typically this is about processing our emotions. And kind of similarly with our mental state, our mental body, the number 7 is a mental number. And that mental number of the 7, it deals with logic and analysis and trying to figure things out and make sense out of what's happening. But what usually happens with the number 7 is, again, all the puzzle pieces aren't quite there yet. It's like, where there's missing pieces to the puzzle. So we don't have the whole clear picture with the number 7. So we're kind of left confused and uncertain, unsure of our decisions, if we have to make any decisions, unsure of what direction to go into. So there's a healing or a focus on the mental body and our thoughts and our perceptions and our ideas and our communications, especially those communications that we have with ourself, with our higher self, with our angels, with our guides. So again, it's a very internal process. And then it's a spiritual number as well, the number 7. So we're dealing with faith and trust, really. The number 7 is hugely about faith and trust and surrender. This is surrendering to the unfolding of events and circumstances in our life with faith and trust that we're being led in the right direction and in the right timing. So we have to trust in divine timing with this one. So the whole year kind of has that energy that I just described, because 2023 is a 7 year, but this month of September is a 7 month. So it's really heightening these energies of going within and analyzing and trying to figure things out, but yet having to have faith and trust because everything's not going to make sense, and just surrender and go with the flow and allow things to unfold and allow us to be directed. Listen to spirit, meditate, connect with your higher soul self. Talk with your angels and guides. This is all number 7 energy. It's also about research, can be about taking classes, learning something new, especially if it's something spiritual or spiritually related. This can be about healing. The number 7 is about being kind of on a sacred healing journey or a shaman's healing journey. So that also is a big part of this month of September. Now let's look at the 16 for a minute, because the 16th Major Arcana, well, first of all, the 16 in numerology is a karmic number. And the karmic number 16, which is very similar to the 16th Major Arcana in the tarot, so we might as well talk about them together, is the Tower. And just as the Tower card is about huge changes and the rug being pulled out from under you, which causes a big shift in one's reality. You can see the lightning bolt coming down. It's hitting the tower. The tower is on fire. The people are, falling out or jumping out of the tower windows and whatnot because of what might be looked at as this huge devastation and change that's going on. It's like the lightning bolt of God, so to speak, comes down and says, you thought this was the reality you were living in. Well, it's not so much the reality. And this is not to be a scary card. And I know it sounds scary the way I'm, talking about it right now. But really, this particular Tower card month isn't, to me, as much about external changes. Now, it doesn't mean there isn't. There can be external changes in situations and circumstances, external changes in relationships, family dynamics, living situations. Sure, that can be there. But the number 7, because it's more of that emotional, mental, and spiritual number, this is more about changes within our own perceptions, in our own view of reality. And not just our view of our external reality, but our view of our internal reality, of who we believe we are, how we see ourselves. This whole Venus retrograde that we're just going to be coming out of as of September 3rd. Venus retrograde has been about looking at how we value ourselves and really kind of digging down deep and looking at, do you feel worthy and deserving of what it is that you desire? And do you value yourself in relationships and situations? So to me, the number 7 or the number, karmic number 16, and the Tower card, is hugely about an inner shift that's taking place, big inner changes that's taking place with our spiritual body and our mental body and our emotional body. So again, it doesn't mean that there's not external changes in our physical reality. There could, but if so, those physical changes in our physical reality are meant to bring more profound changes in our inner reality. So the difference between the Death card and the Tower card in the tarot, the Death card is usually about internal transformation and change, and the Tower usually is about external transformation and change. But I think this one is going to be a little bit of both. I think this one is going to be, sure, there could be some external changes, and maybe it's on a collective level rather than a hugely personal level. It could be either, but maybe there's big changes on the level of the collective, of humanity and the earth, that really causes us to shift our perspective and shift our view of our purpose here in this lifetime or on this earth plane, what we're here to do, connecting more strongly with our spiritual senses and having a spiritual awakening and understanding our spiritual place kind of in the cosmos and what our part is to play. Remember those puzzle pieces. So we're putting together those puzzle pieces so we can have a clearer, larger and more expanded picture of what it is that we're doing here, both again in a personal sense and in a collective sense. So that's a little bit about the Tower card. Let's go ahead and look at the astrology of significance this month. So on September 3rd, this is when Venus, the planet of love and relationships, money, finances, personal resources, our values, and how we value ourselves or our sense of self-worth, she is turning back to direct motion finally at 12 degrees of Leo. She's the last of some of the personal planets here that is still in Leo, right? Because the sun has now moved on to Virgo, Mercury's now moved on to Virgo, Mars actually was in Virgo till almost the end of August, and now it's in Libra. But Venus is still in Leo because she went through a retrograde cycle. That whole retrograde cycle for the last few weeks, couple of months at least, has been about reevaluating our relationships with others and reevaluating our relationship to ourselves. And again, how we value ourselves. So now she's coming out of the process of reevaluation, let's say. So, she's going to turn to direct motion. She's going to start to express outward. She's going to desire, as it is in Leo, to be recognized and appreciated for her love, her beauty, her femininity, her blessings, because she is a planet of blessings. And that's what love is, right? Venus rules love, and love is a blessing. So it's the power of love that attracts things to us. And Venus is about attraction and magnetism. So now we're going to attract these Leo qualities of courage and confidence and self-expression and creativity and leadership and shining our light through the power of love in our heart chakra out into the world. So we may have again gone through a huge reevaluation time in all types of relationship matters. Then on the 4th of September, the very next day, we have Jupiter turning retrograde. So Jupiter is the planet, well, he's actually known as the Great Benefic, which is about blessings and benefits. So Venus is about blessings as well. Then we have Jupiter, which is about bigger blessings. And Jupiter rules abundance and prosperity. It rules our belief systems. It rules the big picture of things, which is interesting because Virgo, the season that we're in right now with the sun in Virgo and Mercury's in Virgo, is about the little details, the little things, the little puzzle pieces. But Jupiter, planet of expansion, is about the big picture, all the puzzle pieces, being put in place so we can see the larger perspective of things. But Jupiter's turning retrograde at 15 degrees of Taurus on the 4th. It's going to be retrograde for a few weeks. And so this is internalizing our energy of looking at our belief systems and adjusting them where they need to be adjusted. So it's interesting that Venus is just coming out of retrograde, but Jupiter the next day is going into retrograde. So it feels like, and because Mercury actually came out of retrograde motion as well, is that right? Nope, it will. It's going to this month. Mercury is still retrograde as well. But what it feels like is that while Venus was retrograde and while Mercury is still retrograde for a few more days, but yet Jupiter is also turning retrograde, we're taking what we've learned from these personal planets' retrograde cycles. In other words, we're taking what we've learned about our relationships to others, our relationship to ourselves with Venus having been retrograde. And pretty soon here, by mid-month, Mercury, which rules our thoughts, our perceptions, our ideas, our communications, our mental processes, is also going to turn direct. And so what we learned as a reevaluation period of that as well, we're starting to internalize that with Jupiter going retrograde as far as, okay, well, I thought the world was like this, or I thought my life was like that, or I thought I could or could not do this or that or the other thing. So now we're shifting our belief systems. And again, we're going to have a few weeks of Jupiter retrograde that allows us to kind of shift our perspectives in certain matters and situations and circumstances. Now, because Jupiter also rules prosperity and abundance and blessings, but yet it's going retrograde, it doesn't mean that abundance, prosperity, and blessings are not going to happen or that, they're far from our reach, but it's asking us to look within ourselves for the prosperity, abundance, and blessings. Right? What are the gifts within you that can bring prosperity, abundance, and blessings? What are your personality traits that can bring abundance, prosperity, and blessings? How can you shift your belief systems in such a way to see the glass half full rather than the glass half empty? Shifting your belief systems to bring in prosperity, abundance, and blessings. So this is, hugely about that shifting or expanding of perceptions and perspective and belief systems. Especially because it is in Taurus, it could be especially about money and finances because Taurus does rule money and finances, but Taurus also rules our values, our sense of self-worth, and how we value ourselves. And so we're back to that, just like with Venus retrograde, right? We're back to that with reevaluating how we feel about those things. On the 14th, we have a new moon at 21 degrees Virgo, new moons, new beginnings. Virgo is quite a logical and analytical sign, deals with mental processes, deals with organization, deals with paying attention to the details. What are the next logical steps that we can take? What are these new ideas that we can come up with as to how to move forward into this new beginning? It's very practical and grounded, and again, it's more of a mental kind of sign. It's both mental, but yet it's tangible because it's earth. So we can kind of put our ideas into action, but we have to have a little bit of patience because we're dealing with all the small details here. Then on the next day, the 15th, is when Mercury turns back to direct motion at 8 degrees of Virgo. So now we can really start to take those new plans and new ideas and new ways of thinking and put them into kind of a logical motion. To me, I think of Virgo and I think, let's organize, let's plan, let's create a strategy, let's write out lists of pros and cons for each possibility, or let's write out our 1 month or 3 month or 6 month plan and the things that we want to accomplish. Because Virgo is task oriented. Virgo is about work and taking care of tasks and being of service to other people. But what are these tasks that we need to address? And that way, if we write them out in a list, we can kind of check mark them off as we go along. And then on the 22nd of September, the sun moves into Libra, which is typical for this time of the month. So the sun will be focused or shining its light through the partnership sign of Libra. It's all about equality and compromise and things being fair. And we're definitely looking at relationship dynamics and whether they're balanced or not for the next month from that point. On the 29th of September, as we near the end of the month, we've got a full moon. And this full moon is going to be at 6 degrees of Aries. So this is the first sign of the zodiac. Now it is a full moon, so we're talking about completion energies or endings, releasing. You know, of course, as we're building up to the full moon, it's a great time to kind of put out intentions for manifestation in the area of self-confidence, self-reliance, independence, leadership ability, take charge ability, all those Aries energies. But as we hit that full moon point and then we're in the waning moon cycle, then we want to release and let go of any shadow tendencies regarding our sense of self. Shadow tendencies or like lack of self-confidence or lack of self-identity, lack of being able to take charge or be our individual self. So that's a little bit about the astrology. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the messages are from our angels and guides. Okay, so the first card here is the Nine of Flames. So the Nine of Flames is like the Nine of Wands or the Nine of Fire in the traditional tarot. And the number 9 numerologically is the last of the single digits. And it's interesting that this is the first card for this month. And again, on August 30th, we had a full moon in Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac. So I feel like this is kind of like clearing some things. It's like releasing. You know, we're still, you know, we're starting out the month in this releasing, completion kind of mode or mindset. And the suit of flames is the suit of fire, or it's spiritual. It's the energy of the spiritual. It's the energy of creation. It's the energy of even action, like creative action. And you can see here we've got, you know, 9 flames. Well, actually there's 5 here, 3 here, and the man here is holding the 9th one. But often this can be about, in the traditional tarot, it's about having been through lots of challenges and difficulties recently. And, you know, you define recently, whatever that might mean. But having gone through certain challenges and difficulties, we're coming to the end of this difficult cycle. The number 9 here is suggesting we're coming to the end of this difficult cycle. And he's standing in front of the flames. He's kind of standing there as if he's defending his position or he's protecting what he's accomplished thus far. So one might read this as, and this is again a traditional meaning, is that we've come so far and we've done so much healing and moving through challenges and getting to this point. We might feel exhausted, we might feel fatigued, we might feel weary, like we want to just give up because we're still maybe experiencing some of those challenges. But this card says, don't give up. You're so close. You're so close to the end of this cycle. You're close to the end of whatever this challenge is all about. And it could be a physical challenge, but it could also be like a spiritual lesson, right? Because this is the card of spiritual, the fire, the flames. It's a spiritual energy. So whatever it was that our soul was to learn through these challenges that we might have experienced is what we're coming close to understanding. And we're protecting that. Again, we're standing in front of this and we're protecting everything that we've developed or acquired or expanded into thus far. It's like we've learned so much, we don't want somebody to take it away. And we don't want to give up on it. We don't want to throw in the towel, as I said earlier, and say, I can't take it anymore. When is this going to stop? It's never going to stop. And I just give up. No, don't do that. You know, we've got the Great Pyramid back here behind you. Again, another kind of spiritual icon, if you will. You know, we've got focused energy from the divine coming down through the point of the pyramid and bringing it down into earthly form to give us a sense of stability, tangibility, security, if you will. So feel secure with how far you've come. Feel secure in yourself. Protect what you've accomplished so far, whether it be, again, situationally or whether it be spiritually speaking. And know that you're nearing the end of whatever this is all about. And you'll be able to take this creative flame of light, this creative spark of energy within yourself, and shine it out once again in a new and different way. Okay, let's take a look at the next card. Okay, the next card is Major Arcana number 5. In this deck, it's called Guidance. Now, in the traditional deck, this is the Hierophant. And the Major Arcana Hierophant is about looking to a spiritual authority outside yourself for some sort of spiritual guidance, some sort of message as to what to do next or how to achieve the next step. But in this deck, this is called simply guidance. And we see a Buddha here in a meditative state. We also see the great phoenix. Interesting that we've got the pyramid back here in this card. And we've got the Sphinx, if I said it wrong, the Sphinx of Egypt above the Buddha with the card labeled Guidance. So rather than looking outside of ourselves for the answers, and again, this is a very number 7 vibration, right? We're in a 7 universal year. This is a 7 month. It's very spiritual. It's very self-reflective. It's very meditative. It's very spiritual. We're going within to seek our own guidance. We're going within to listen to our higher soul self. Could be going within to listen to our angels and guides, but this is about listening to that internal, spiritual message that could be coming through, again, from higher level beings, but could be coming through from your own higher soul self, your own inner authority, right? Rather than an outer spiritual authority, this is about your own inner authority. And it's something big. I mean, we've got the Sphinx here, right? And, I think about Egypt and the pyramids and the Sphinx and, what that all means, at least to me, and how I feel like it's very otherworldly and other higher beings that are somehow here connected with us and bringing information to us, guiding us in a sense through our own higher self or through some of the archangels and ascended masters. It's bringing guidance. We've got this, a lot of sunlight here. We've got the sun here. We've got golds and yellows and solar plexus chakra and sacral chakra energies here for owning our personal power or taking our power back, or leadership or confidence, passion, creative self-expression. And again, just listening to that inner guidance as we move forward. This is a month to be still. It's a month to be quiet and still and reflective. Okay, even if we look at it from a Tower card vibration, if there's something big going on, big changes, whether it's internal or external, big changes, we want to reflect on, what does this mean? What is the purpose of all this? What part am I playing in all of this? What do I do next? What are the next steps for me? And asking for that inner guidance to come through you. Okay. Let's look at the last card for the month. Okay, very similar energy, Major Arcana 9. In this deck, it's called Reflection. So what have we been saying about the month of September and the number 7 vibration? It's a reflective energy, self-reflective. This is the Hermit in the traditional tarot. So the Hermit is about lighting your own way, finding your own answers. It's kind of a loner energy, right? The Hermit is a loner. It's, he's on an individual soul journey. So again, a healing journey, a self-reflective soul healing journey, lighting his own way with his own light, his own lantern, looking for his way through the darkness and through the shadows here. Listening to his inner wisdom. The Hermit is usually a wise sage or master. And, as a wise sage or master, he's got his own answers, and he just needs to reflect upon them. He needs to take that time alone to understand, again, from a higher perspective, what's really going on. What's the purpose here? So don't give up. You're getting towards, again, the end of a cycle, the end of a lesson, the end of an experience. Listen to your own inner guidance, or the guidance from angels, guides, higher beings or source, and move through the shadows, move through the challenges, move through, it could even be moving through the dark night of the soul and lighting your way, illuminating your own path, listening to the wisdom deep within your soul as far as moving forward. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. So that first stone of choice was the stromatolite. I always have to look at how I'm saying that one. Stromatolite. Okay. So if you chose the stromatolite, special message for the month of September for the stromatolite people. Okay, this one's calling my attention. Wow, caring community. I say wow because this card keeps coming up for me, interestingly enough. Caring community. It says participate and belong. So interesting that we're in a loner kind of month, but yet we're needing to connect with others. So the connecting with others has to be with people of like mind, people of a similar spiritual vibration. This isn't just, connecting with, work buddies or people in the grocery store, unless those people are of like mind, and spiritual. But you can see it's got a spiritual feeling to it. We've got people holding hands around a campfire, and there's still a nighttime scene going on, and there's a full moon here. So there's definitely something about the full moon on August 30th and probably the full moon coming up here on September 29th that we want to pay attention to, where we want to connect with others that hold a similar mindset to us, or that are on a spiritual journey, or that are spiritually conscious and aware, or seeking, others that are seeking something similar. It looks like we have a Pegasus. Well, it must be a Pegasus, a unicorn. What is this? This is the Magic of the Unicorns deck. So we must have a unicorn back here. But it's interesting that the unicorn is back there in the background, almost as if it's a guide that's there, but it's not in the forefront. What's in the forefront is these other people, these other human beings, family, friends, loved ones, new people that we're meeting that are on a spiritual path or on a spiritual journey. And I've been doing a lot of networking as of late, the last few months actually, and meeting a lot of new people that are beautiful souls and beautiful, conscious awareness and beautiful vision that they have for the future. So I think that connecting with community is a very appropriate thing. And I feel like the next couple of years, 2024 and 2025, from the connections that we have been making the last couple of years, it's going to enrich our lives and prove to be something more than maybe what we thought. So again, participate and belong and enrich your life. So by meeting these other people and not just talking to the other people like on Zoom or Skype or the telephone, but actually participating in spiritual events, classes, workshops, moon ceremonies, other guided ceremonies. I've been invited to a Reiki share out at somebody's campground or cabin or something next to a lake. And, I hardly even know this person. I met them one time and they invited me, and I don't know the other women, but I think I'm going to go because, again, these new connections and being out in nature and being next to the lake and participating in the healing, not just the Reiki part of the healing, but the healing of just being out in nature and absorbing that energy and connecting with souls of like mind. And maybe they'll have a campfire, who knows? But this is going to be a very enriching experience. So look for something deeper. I guess that's the essence of the message, is looking for something deeper than what you're currently maybe experiencing. All right, let's take a look at the message for the, what was this one? The Christ So Praise. Okay. Christ So Praise people, special message for September for Christ So Praise. Okay, this one's calling my attention. Spiritual warrior. Oh, I like that one. Spiritual warrior. It says, show you are a wise leader and command the universe. So here we've got a unicorn, a lion, and a lamb, right? The unicorn is hope and trust and faith in the future, and the lion is leadership and confidence and courage, and the lamb is gentle, loving energy. So let's put all of those together and let's be the spiritual warrior, right? Spiritual warrior doesn't only mean take charge, I'm in charge, I'm the leader. But being a spiritual warrior means you have an open heart, right? The heart of the lion. You have this open heart, expanded unconditional love and compassion and forgiveness and wisdom that you're sharing for the hope of humanity, for the world. So show you are the wise leader and command the universe, work with the universe. You're co-creator with the universe here, right? What is it that you want to co-create with the universe, especially as we move into the next month of October? That's going to be more of a manifestation sort of energy. This is more internal. Let's visualize, let's intend, let's put out our intentions and imagine what it is that we want to create. And then by working with the universe, in co-creation with the universe, we're going to see more, potentially so, in the next couple of months, October, November, some of the manifestations of what it is that we're asking for. Okay? All right. That's a beautiful card. And then for those of you that chose the sardonyx. All right, sardonyx people. Special message for September for sardonyx people. I almost dropped this one in the bottom, so that's what I'm choosing. Law of grace. And it says, that's a great word for the number 7, by the way, grace. Law of grace. It says, be your divine essence, dissolve all in grace. So again, we want to dissolve, release, let go of all that is the opposite of grace, right? Anything, the frustration, the anger, the doubt, the fear, let's dissolve those lower energies coming off of that full moon in Pisces. And let's be in a state of peace. Let's be in a state of grace. And this to me is like, we got 2 unicorns touching horns. We've got this interesting symmetric kind of symbol going on here. It feels very much about balance, right? In a state of balance, we have grace. So it kind of has that feeling of that Libra energy that we're going to be going into with the sun moving into Libra on the 22nd. And of course, Mars is already in Libra. But this to me, it could be about something about having that state or energy of grace when you're dealing with relationship matters, connecting with other people, being in the flow, being in balance here, compromise, equality, all of those words that go with Libra. We've got a rose in the center. So I don't know, it just all of a sudden pops into my head, Saint Teresa, the little flower, right? This is like my Catholic upbringing. So, when you ask Saint Teresa, for something, and then all of a sudden you're given a rose, shown a rose shows up, it's like your question or your seeking has been kind of answered in some way, shape, or form. So be in, and maybe look up what the law of grace really means, because I wouldn't be able to, verbally tell you if I'd have to look that one up myself. But the law of grace, and being in grace and being in balance and being in peace, the word peace kind of comes to mind, being in union with the divine, all that is where we want to be for this month. All right, so this was a long video. Thank you for hanging in there. I appreciate each and every one of you. I send you all lots of love and light and many, many blessings for this month. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste.